How's it going, everyone? As always, God bless you and thank you for being here. I'm Gage and this is Candy Coral Aquatics. I just want to take a second and talk to you guys about open brain corals. These are my two open brain corals. I have a neon green and then a multicolored. They're the only brain corals that I've ever owned in this hobby, and I have to admit they're probably some of my favorite corals that I own currently. They're just such a aesthetically pleasing coral, the way they kind of flow around in the water and the colors that they bring and the size and just the sheer meatiness of these corals is really something to behold. It's really neat to see. The coloration is so vivid and intense on these corals. That multicolored one, if any of you have ever seen Game of Thrones, when you see the White Walker's eyes, how they're that icy blue, that's exactly what this coral looks like. It's a little bit hard to tell even with the filter, but if you see this coral in person, the center mouth area, it's this really bright, vibrant, icy blue. And then all the other colors that kind of just intermingle without, through the entire flesh of the coral. Care parameters, really, you guys, if you're keeping other LPS, it's going to be the same exact thing. I would say moderate lighting, medium to moderate flow, and they're very responsive to feeding, so I highly encourage that you feed them. It's only going to help their growth and it's only going to help their coloration. They're very receptive to being fed. Shrimps will host them. If you actually look at the back side of the multicolored one, you can actually see there's a sexy shrimp kind of posted up on the very edge of it. They will get right in the center. They will hang out on these corals. I think that it just is one of those things that everybody should have in their tank if you have the room for it. They're just a really neat coral. They provide a lot of movement, especially if your water flow is just right. And they take up a sizable portion of your tank. So if you have an open spot in the sand bed and you're like, well, I don't really know what I want to put in here, and you don't really want anything that's going to branch out and sting and harm your other corals, I would highly suggest an open brain coral. I've never seen sweeper tentacles come out of these guys. The only tentacles I've seen are these feeding tentacles that you can actually see on the left-hand side here on that neon green one. I just put some fish food in the water, so he's actually responding to that. So I think these guys would be a great option for anybody looking for a larger, easy to care for, colorful coral that you can have a lot of fun with. So that's kind of my input, I guess, on open brain corals, you guys. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Take care.